Well, it's time now for our third and final race of the weekend for the Avon Tyres National Formula Ford 1600 Championship. Alex Walker and Rory Smith, the two drivers that have done the winning so far this weekend. And now we get into the territory of reverse grid racing. And six on the grid is, or was, six in the last race, was Lucas Romanek. They're firing up the engines. We're going to have a quick chat. Lucas, it was a DNF for you in race one, so good effort for you. Well done in race two, getting up into the reverse grid positions and now pole position. What are your hopes?
Our goal is to get into the pole position. We have to just carry on this momentum and sort of
What does it feel like moving up from karting into this wonderfully prestigious championship?
Apologies there for, again, any additional sound issues there, of course, down the pit lane. I think some of the weather might have a bit of an effect with the wind and also the rain. If we do get some audio back from Richard, we'll definitely cut back down again to have a chat with a couple of other drivers. I think they're just firing up engines, so you might be just about to try to throw it back up to me anyway. So, in any case, thank you to Richard for his brief chat to Lucas. Thank you very much, and we're now getting set for our third race of the weekend here in the Avon Tyres National Formula Ford Championship. So there's a slight reverse grid. What they do is at the end of the second race they pull a numbered ball out from numbers 6 to 10 out there, and whichever number they pull out, a la BCCC style, they reverse the grid by that number of positions. So number 6 was pulled out, which means that the driver that finished in 6th place in race number 2 inherits pole position, and the top 6 are inverted for the final race, which means that Lucas Romanek, on his debut weekend in his new team, Oldfield Motorsport, will start from pole position for only his third race for them. Second on the grid alongside him will be Thomas Mills, then it's Alex Walker and Chris Middlehurst, and then Jamie Hurst and Rory Smith. Well, here's the confirmation of the grid. Lucas Romanek will start on pole, Thomas Mills on the front row alongside him, Alex Walker, the race 1 winner, alongside Chris Middlehurst in 4th on the grid, and Jamie Sharp and Rory Smith, who won race 2, he starts back in 6th with some work to do from the third row. And the rest of the grid is as they finished in race 2, so James Tucker and Ben Tinkler make it an all-club class 4th row of the grid. Tucker ahead of Tinkler. They've got 1 win each in the class today, so whoever can settle that today will be able to get in the bragging rights. Megan Gilchrist and Noel Robinson make up the top 10 on the grid. Gilchrist starting from 9th once again with a top 10 start for her. Benjamin Cochrane's 11th alongside Andre Lafond, who's recovering after his issues from race 1 yesterday. Paul Tucker in 13th place in the other club class racer. He is on the 7th row alongside Terry Walkingshaw in 14th place, and some of the drivers who didn't make it to the end of the race, including crucially Max Etherson. Watch him from 15th on the grid. He will not stay there, I can guarantee that. Neither will Colin Queen, and neither, I can guarantee, will Joey Foster at the back of the grid. The Cornish Express will certainly have to live up to his name to come back from 17th on the grid, and watch for him to make his way up through the order. So the weather here is, for one thing, whether it's dry or wet, incredibly blustery in terms of the wind that's around here. So that will certainly have a factor, particularly for drivers making their way towards the corners and possibly even unsettling the cars a bit. But of course, as we mentioned, the National Formula Ford's currently split up into 2 classes. The Pro class for some of our fast young chargers in the field, such as Lucas Romanek and Thomas Mills and everyone else towards the front of the field, and also some of the faster drivers in Formula Fords out there, like experienced drivers like Rory Smith, and including, of course, Joey Foster. He's always rapid whenever he gets into a Formula Ford. And then we have the Club class for those who enjoy racing Formula Fords purely for the sake of racing Formula Fords. And so we have 3 cars in that class this weekend. Not that many cars have been appearing in Club this year, but we'd love to have more out there because we've still got a couple more rounds to go in the Avon Tyres National Formula Fords. Of course, we've got the next rounds coming up are going to be on the British GT support package at Alton Park on September 11th and 12th. So I'm sure we'll get some of the drivers who regularly populate that area in the equivalent Northern and Super Classic Formula Ford Championship will join in for that grid, as well as I'm sure some other notable Formula Ford drivers would like to make the trip up to Cheshire. And then our final rounds take place at Snetterton in Norfolk on the early October. I think it's October 8th and 9th. That's where we will conclude the battle for the Pro and Club and Class titles. There is essentially one National Formula 4 title that is to be effectively decided today, provisionally, and that is the Triple Crown, because we have a couple of sub-championships within the main championship for those who want to do selective rounds and have their own little mini contest for those that can't commit to a full season. So it's the Triple Crown. It consists of the races that we've held at Donington Park and Silverstone already, plus the 3 races here at Brands Hatch to pick up a Triple Crown of big circuits. So that means then that all the points count for every single race. You don't have drop scores like the main championship, where you drop your worst 4 scores in the pro class, you drop your worst 5 for the clubman. But you don't have to drop anything for the Triple Crown. It's simply, quite literally, every single result counts for that one. So that's been a battle up until now between Max Esterson and Rory Smith. But then again, in this weekend so far, it's already been in the favour of Rory Smith, particularly in that second race, when Rory took the victory, whilst Max Esterson scored nothing after he went off. I think after he just interlocked wheels with Alex Walker. There was no malice for either driver, I don't think, just simply getting caught up in a bit of contact between them whilst they were trying to pass each other. And as a result, Esterson went spinning, just nudged the tyres on the run down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend, and then because of that he ended up out of the race and scoring just about nothing. So a low score for him. That'll be a drop score in the main championship, nothing to drop in the Triple Crown. So revs rise then for the third and final National Formula Ford race at Brands Hatch. Romanek on pole, Mills and Walker behind him with the 2 Kevin Mills Spectrums. Who's going to win the third race here this afternoon here on Sunday at Brands Hatch? It's lights out and we are underway here for the third race. And Mills switched through. Bit of a misshift there for Lucas Romanek as round the outside goes Mills, who almost had Walker going to the back of him as well. Round the outside goes Middlehurst to try and get 4th place. Sharp is in there too as well. But it is a Kevin Mills Spectrum 1-2 as Thomas Mills leads them up towards Druids for the first time. So Mills leads. It's Walker in second place. Romanek stays third. Middlehurst now under threat from the BM Racing pair. As there goes Jamie Sharp past both Romanek and also trying to get past Ben Tinkler in there as well. Ben Tinkler in the 2009 race chassis. I think that is the ex Joey Foster car that he won the festival in 2017. So Ben Tinkler in a very prominent car, so to speak. As they charge their way in through Surtees for the first time. Foster's already up a couple of spots from the back of the grid, about 14th place now, so up 3 places in the mix. There he is in the British Racer green-coloured Furman car, number 3. But now down the pit straight for the first time. So Kevin Mills will enjoy that sight. It is a Kevin Mills 1-2 across the line. It's actually Walker that leads the way. Mills in second place. Middlehurst third. Sharp 4th. 5th place for Lucas Romanek. 6th for Rory Smith, and it was 7th place for Ben Tinkler, but Megan Gilchrist with a great move. She's up into 7th place past the Clubman class man in his Ray chassis, so a great move from her. So P6 then is Rory Smith. They're just behind Lucas Romanek, who's doing pretty well in his new team. Just to mention again, for those who didn't tune into the first 2 races, as a reminder, it was Lucas Romanek who started the season in a Kevin Mills Spectrum, but then he's now changed over across for this weekend onwards into the Oldfield Motorsport prepared Van Diemen chassis, and so he's just adapting on as he goes on the fly, trying to get himself up the field. Now, speaking of going up the field, both Max Esterson and Joe Foster are making progress together, because Esterson is ahead of Foster by virtue of starting ahead of him on the grid, and they're both on the tail of car 52, which is Andre Lafond, he's one of his 2 American teammates as they come into Paddock Hill Bend, and Andre doesn't fight his teammate too much, as there goes Esterson. Well, the intention's round him around the inside line, but Andre Lafond decides, maybe not, you might be in the championship contention, but I'll hold on for my position for the time being. And now we see Chris Middlehurst, who knows he has to try and get past Mills here. I suspect might do a little bit of work here, possibly making it difficult for Chris to try and get past, whilst Alex Walker charges off up the road because he knows he's got to get involved. That is one of the Dempsey cars. Now, is that possibly Colin Queen? Because he was behind Lafond and Esterson. I didn't see contact between those two, so I suspect it's Colin Queen that's had the spin up at Druids. There's Esterson. Yeah, there's Queen. So it is Andre Lafond. So there is actually Colin Queen that had the spin. Oh, and that's Ben Tinkler off the road. I'm not sure if there was contact. It was off camera. But Ben Tinkler carries on. And Alex Walker then is going to be down towards pretty much the tail of the club class battle. That'll now put in the club battle, I think that James Tucker will be in front, ahead of with Paul in second place. We'll check on the timing screens as they come through. Yeah, no, Tinkler's into second now. So James Tucker leads, Ben Tinkler second, Paul Tucker is still third. So the first proper flying lap, it's Alex Walker with the fastest lap of the race already, 50.744. It's their Mills in second place to make it a Kevin Mills Spectrum 1-2. I'm looking out the window, and I think Thomas Mills has been given the instruction, make life difficult for Chris Middlehurst, I think, and that's exactly what he's doing, because he's just in there trying to put his car in all the right places to hold up Chris Middlehurst, and it's backing him into both Jamie Sharp and Rory Smith. So this is going to be very tricky here. Middlehurst will be swarming all around him. There goes Walker escaping up the road. Mills is basically giving him the backup here to try and ensure he can run up the road. Now, the only fast snap of the race. Middlehurst trying this way and that, but he still can't get through. Mills parks the car right in the middle of the road to prevent Middlehurst any chance to get through. And again, being very good with his defensive moves here. Sharp and Roy Smith are also sniffing around. Has a look round the outside. There goes Jamie Sharp, but he gets edged out wide. Here comes Smith on the inside line. I suspect that Smith might want to help his teammate here a little bit. As Smith goes in front, he might be thinking, right, follow me, Jamie. Let's see if we can get past both of them. So the two BM Racing cars are now just bump drafting each other down the back straight. You never think bump drafting Formula 4 would work, but it does. Just latch on the nose of one car to the gearbox of another. Try not to push it up in the air too much, and away you go. So Thomas Mills, who is hanging on here, like anyone's business, really going to try and prevent Chris Middlehurst from getting past. Middlehurst starts out. He's going to have to go round the outside line because Mills will not just let him have a move up the inside here, and he doesn't into Paddock Hill Bend this time. Back down the hill again. Still, Mills, Middlehurst, Smith. That's second, third and fourth. There goes Walker, extending his lead. Smith goes round the outside of Middlehurst and tries to get the momentum. Can't quite get there, so funnels back in. And Sharp is in there too, and Middlehurst can't be close to the back of Mills' car. He is practically shoving his nose under the gearbox of Mills, saying, get out of the way! He needs to get past his teammate, but Mills is never going to let him through that easy. They're 2 by 2. I think that's Smith just holding off Sharp. Mills is really making this difficult for Middlehurst and co. Round the right-hander. Up through clearways, back through Clark Curve again to the end of another lap. It's a 15-minute race. Of course, if we get a safety car, if we get more than one safety car, the first one will give us an extra 5 minutes. So if we do get one, that will make the difference. Middlehurst again, just underneath the exhaust. Max Esterson sets the fastest lap of the race. Megan Gilkes is having a cracking race, up to 6th place she's got up to. Great work from Megan so far. Good job for the former W Series driver. She's certainly in her first season of proper Formula Ford, learning her way through, and so she's having a great one. She can finish there. That'll be her best result to date. So keep it up. Keeping up the good work is young Canadian. So up through Graham Hill Bend again. I suspect Thomas Mills is kind of enjoying this because he's probably feeling the pressure but having a wry smile on his face thinking, you just keep trying to get past. But Alex is running up the road and Thomas gets a big slide on to try and prove the point that he's not only pushing, but he's also trying to do what he can to ensure that Alex doesn't really get much of a challenge. And of course, at this early stage, the longer that he gets the holds up Chris and co, by the time they do finally get past, if they get past, he'll be so far ahead that it'll mean that Middlehurst will have to put in incredible laps to try and get through. Smith has a big dive, late move into the inside at Paddock Hill Bend. Can't get it done. Here comes Smith on. It was Jamie Smith Sharp on the inside line. They're side by side with 2 BM Racing cars. Smith won't fight it. He'll have it let him through. And there goes. Well, Smith has gone around the outside of his teammate. Tries to do the same on Middlehurst. Couldn't quite make that stick. So now they're side by side again with the BM Racing pair. And we're back to where we started. So Rory Smith is still in 4th place. Jamie Sharp still 5th. Megan Gilkes, to be fair, isn't far away from this. She's 1.2 seconds off. There's Gisler in 6th place. That's Terry Walkinshaw getting out of the way. But there's Megan Gilkes. And there's Max Esterson pushing her along as well. So Max Esterson is giving her a bit of a G up in terms of getting her foot down. But again, the longer that these 4 keep on getting forward together, by the virtue of Thomas Mills stacking them all up, the longer it's the easier it's going to be for Gilkes to get through. Just watching Esterson as they come into the right-hander. He's gone through past Gilkes into 6 positions. This will mean that possibly Gilkes will try and follow him now to the tail of this pack. As now the leader's still going at it here. Mills is making that car the widest Formula Ford in the venue. Oh, it's brilliant. I love this stuff. This is great. Thomas Mills is absolutely frustrating It's frustrating Middlehurst, Smith and Sharp no end whilst they're battling. Which frustrating Middlehurst, Sharp and Smith are just enjoying themselves toying with Middlehurst. He's in a nightmare position, is Chris. He has to get past, but again he just can't find his way through. Walker's gap is now 5 seconds. So at the moment, if we get into the second half of the race, it's probably going to be too little too late. All he can do now is do the best job he can, which is 2nd place. And Thomas isn't doing anything wrong. He's simply just driving his own line and making it difficult for Chris. That's all he can do. He's not doing anything like can't talk. Weaving around, swerving from side to side. He's not doing that. He's simply just placing his car defensively where he needs to put it to defend from Chris. That's all he's doing. And Chris and co can't find a way through. So it's great defensive driving from Jan Thomas. Remember, he's only in his first full campaign of Formula Ford racing, and he's doing an amazing job in his first season so far. He came into the weekend on points. I'll find my paperwork in a second. But he came in 5th on drop scores. So amazing stuff for him at this point in time, and just carries on impressing. And of course, he's got a great teacher in his father, Kevin, who runs the Spectrum chassis in his own team. And one of them, of course, is cantering up the road with Alex Walker behind the wheel. This really will be a weekend where Alex can catapult himself back into proper championship contention. Here comes Middlehurst to the outside, and again, can he finally go round the outside of the paddock? Again, not quite. Still, Mills has got the advantage in front. 6.25 minutes to go. I wonder where Esterson and Gilkis are. Well, they're not too far away. Gilkis is back by 1.1 seconds. But Esterson is right there. You can see him. It's now a 5-car scrap for second and third. There's Walker as he continues to extend his advantage at the front. Just enjoying a slightly casual Sunday drive this afternoon for his second win of the weekend. If it comes that way, we've still got 5 3/4 minutes to go in this race. So it's not over until the checkered flag. But if he can stay where he is, it'll be his 5th win of the season, which will certainly help him really keep in the fight right the way towards the final rounds at Snetterton. Because we know that Alton Park will be a crucial weekend. It's crucial right now that whilst Walker escapes, he makes hay while the sun currently shines, particularly when Thomas Mills is trying to keep Middlehurst at bay. Oh, and that was almost contact between Middlehurst and Mills. Very tight round the outside line. And again, Mills shuts the door on Middlehurst. Now, the inside goes Rory Smith. Gets a little nudge from Jamie Sharp. S thinks, right, hello, boys. Round the outside I come. Middlehurst gets shuffled out 1, maybe 2 positions, maybe 3, because Esterson might make it 3 abreast down towards Graham Hill Bend. That was never going to work. And now, Rory Smith takes up the mantle. He now gets the chance to try and have a attack at Thomas Mills. And thinks, right, you couldn't get it done. Watch this. Also in there, watch out for Gilkis, who's not too far away. There she is, Megan Gilkis with Colin Queen just behind her, and Joey Foster on the recovery trail. There goes Queen up the inside, the young American karting graduate. Joey Foster is in there too in 9th place. And Lucas Romanek, who started on pole, excuse me, been shuffled back down to 10th. So he's not had the greatest of days so far, Lucas, but he managed to start from pole and had the glory there momentarily. So Joey Foster having a look up the inside of Gilkis, trying to get past the Canadian in the 3rd of the Kevin Mills spectrums as Thomas Mills continues on his merry way in the lead of this group. He must be enjoying this. He must be loving this point, just watching everyone else scrapping behind him and putting his car in all the right places and all the right times and just holding on whilst everyone else gets so frustrated behind him. That must be so satisfying in a really really evil way. But great stuff from the top 2 at the moment for Kevin Mills. This is great strategy from them. There's Ben Cochran battling away with the 555 with James Tucker. He leads the club class. So good effort from James. It'll be his 2nd club class win. He's also appeared a few times in the Avon Tyres Northern and Super Classic Championship, which had 4 rounds at Mallory Park. Well, it's had 3 rounds, and the final Mallory Park round is coming up at the end of the month on the 28th of August. So all Formula Fords are welcome, of course, for that. I'm sure will be James and a few others who might want to jump out here to get involved. And he's having a great battle with Benjamin Cochran, who is having his first year in Formula Fords. He's with the Team Dolan outfit. He used to be a champion outfit with good likes of Niall Murray. Back with our 5-car scrap for second now. Still, Thomas Mills, then Rory Smith, then Chris Middlehurst, then Jamie Sharp, then Max Esterson. And Smith wants to have a go, but again, Mills puts the car straight in the middle of the road and says, nope, not happening. This, if you want to get past me, you're going to have to prize this position from me, like your life depends on it. I'll get my words out eventually because it's such a close battle and there's so much going on, it's almost making me lost for words. Middlehurst right underneath the rear gearbox of Rory Smith, who now will look to the outside line. Middlehurst will try and get him on the inside if he can. A little lock up on the outside front from Smith, but he carries the momentum. And now as they come up the hill again, they're both going to close in on the back of Mills' car into the hairpin, looking around the outside of the young teenager. But still, Mills keeps his foes in front. This is a great defensive drive for Thomas Mills. You know, whether it's just him hanging on for the position or in essence helping Alex to get up the road and pick up a victory. Either way, it's been a great drive, as it has been for this man as well, Alex Walker. 2.25 minutes to go in this race. A lead of over 7 seconds out in front. So this is really working out nicely for Alex at this point in time. Across the line he goes. I think we're going to get maybe, possibly at least 2, if not 3 more laps, including the one we're on. So we've completed 15 laps. Looking further back, I can see that we've got some great battles going on for 2nd and 4th. Now, there has been a change of position behind him, so we can focus on that in a second, because we've got Thomas Mills still in 2nd place, but he's now Chris Middlehurst is back into 3rd now. So as Alex Walker goes through, where's our lead gap of 2nd? There it is. So Thomas Mills is now 2nd, but now Chris Middlehurst is back into 3rd. He's passed Rory Smith up at Paddock Hill Bend. Jamie Sharp in 5th position, and Max Esterson, who would indeed love to get towards the front of this group if he can, to beat Chris Middlehurst and give him more misery. He's back in 6th, but Middlehurst will be trying as hard as he can here to try and get through the white car there, number 87. They all stack up under braking. They almost made a bit of contact, but they're going to hold on for the time being. So they're going to get 2 more laps then. Alex Walker goes through to start lap 17 here this afternoon. We've had 2 brilliant Formula 4 races. This third one's lived up to it as well. Right, let's try again, shall we? Middlehurst down to the outside line. Can he break much later into Paddock Hill Bend? He tries the high, wide and handsome line. Still can't do it. And he can't get the cut back either. So every time he goes for the inside line, Thomas Mills puts his car there. Every time he goes to the inside line, tries to get past at Paddock Hill Bend, Thomas Mills' car is on the inside. Every single place he goes to pass, Mills has got his car parked right on the apex to stop him getting through. And that's what's really frustrating, Chris. So he's only got about a lap and a bit to go now. Esterson's on the rear of Jamie Sharp. Colin Queen's in there as well, in the second of the low-density car. So Esterson has backup now. And there's Jamie Sharp, who I think has been allowed through by Rory Smith, I think. As there goes Alex Walker. About 25 seconds left to go here in this final race of the weekend for the National Formula Fords. And of course this will be quite good preparation for the Formula Ford Festival in October for the drivers here. I'm pretty sure the majority, if not all of them, will be out in force for that festival race weekend, the 50th. Quite a landmark weekend for the BRSEC, so if you can make it both as a competitor in Formula Fords and also as a spectator, please do come, because it should be a magnificent weekend from start to finish. So Alex Walker then makes his way down into the final couple of corners. As for the battle for second, they still cannot shake off Thomas Mills as they come into the run towards third. He's been into the last couple of corners. A bit of a tough couple of weekends coming in here to Brands Hatch, but he's going to leave with 2 victories to catapult him straight back into the title hunt in 2021. Up to the checkered flag, a 5th win of the season and a 2nd of the weekend for Alex Walker. He coasts across the line for Kevin Mills Racing. That's the job done. Now then, can Thomas Mills hold on for 2nd place? The answer is going to be as it comes towards the line. There's contact between Mills and Middlehurst, but just holds on at the line. It's a Kevin Mills 1-2. Thomas Mills does take 2nd place and holds back the tide for an incredible 15 minutes of racing. That was one of the drives of the weekend, I have to say, purely for the defensive effort. Brilliant job from Thomas. 3rd for Chris Middlehurst. He will be deeply frustrated, but it's still a 3rd place, still good points. Jamie Sharp in 4th, Rory Smith is 5th, Max Esterson 6th. Then it should be Colin Queen, Megan Gilchrist, Joey Foster and Lucas Romanek round out the top 10, with Cochrane, LaFond and that's Terry Walkinshaw in 13th place. And then Noel Robinson also pitted in the closing stages. And then for the club class, it's James Tucker who wins. He also finishes in 12th place overall, ahead of Ben Tinkler in 2nd in club, 14th overall. And then it was Paul Tucker who was 15th overall and 3rd in the category. So, brilliant stuff as always from the Formula Fords. There's the Pro Class result. Alex Walker wins overall and in Pro Class, with Thomas Mills in 2nd place, Chris Middlehurst in 3rd, Jamie Sharp is 4th, then Rory Smith in 5th, Max Esterson 6th and Colin Queen in 7th place, then Megan Gilchrist, Joey Foster could only manage 9th, and Lucas Romanek rounds out the top 10. Benjamin Cochrane 11th from that should be Andre LaFond 12th and Terry Walkinshaw in 13th. And you can just see it there, I think, the club class result, which is James Tucker from Ben Tinkler and then Paul Tucker for the 3 cars that all made it home. Paul Tucker being 2 laps off the club class lead.